is that? Alright, what's this video? Let's see.
Wait, don't start. Are you starting already?
Oh, I just did.
Go to 0. Go to 0.
I'm at 0.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
New anti-smoking ads warn teens
A new campaign.
Do you see Tampa Bay gay prostitutes gearing up for the flood?
Having a big impact on the way teens
Okay,
use smoking. Let's
Wait, where?
On the side it says Tampa Bay gay prostitutes gearing up for the flood of something.
We're gonna watch this video. Hold on. Let's just keep watching it.
Are they smoking? Or are they gay?
Are they gay? Gay to smoke.
And joining us here in the studio this morning is the director of this new PSA campaign, Dr. Michael Gaines. Doctor, thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I've seen a lot of anti-smoking ads that talk about the health risks, but these are completely different.
Yes, well, we found those old tactics just weren't working because they weren't relevant to teens.
That's exactly
These new
right.
ads talk to kids in the phone saying, understand, if you choose to smoke, people are going to make fun of you for looking like a queer.
Really?
Queer.
Warnings on cigarette packages with more effective ones.
Well, look at that.
Oh my god!
Another PSA.
Oh my god. Oh no, dude. Oh god. Ugh.
Why? Why, Grace? Why?
I don't know, dude. I didn't see this one before. This is just...
Oh, wait, I've seen that somewhere.
Smoke.
Well,
Don't be
extraordinary work, Dr. Gaines. I'm
Absolutely.
impressed.
And we're planning more
Absolutely.
campaigns about teenage drinking that show how getting drunk leads to making out with your same-sex friends. And seatbelt ads that show how dangerous it is to be free to prance around like a fairy inside the car.
Great idea.
Wonderful. Now, you're going to love this. Our producers actually found some YouTube videos that show just how effective your campaign's been. Let's have a look.
I mean, I used to smoke, but then I didn't want everyone to think I'm a gay homo. I had to wait in line for this gay guy buying cigarettes who couldn't get his change out of his gay pocket. I was like, don't smoke in front of me, gay one. You think I want to watch that? I don't want to
Gay
smoke
one.
because I want to look like a cock magnet.
That's amazing. Now, I have to say, these ads are geared towards boys or girls.
Yeah, a
Oh,
cock
yes, we have
magnet.
a glossy magazine campaign for girls. It features 10 full-page ads with a woman smoking while welding,
There you
smoking
go.
while driving a big rig, smoking while
Perfect.
working construction.
Wonderful. Dr. Michael Gaines, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And you stick around because coming up after the break, we're going to be visited by a singer-songwriter who's going to teach us how to write lyrics to songs that sound like they're about sea creatures but are actually about sex. Stay with us.
What?
Has an intro.
Josh. White House. Word for the win.
Now let's turn back to the Republican National Convention, which is set to start Monday. All week long, we've been talking to Republican strategist Marie Byron, who has all the details about this important event.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi there, Marie. Now, all of Tampa Bay is gearing up for the convention, but I understand no one's more excited than the area's gay prostitutes who are expecting record numbers of clients.
That's right, Andrea. This convention
Oh,
means
God.
increased sales for hotels, restaurants, and of course, the men who provide anonymous gay sex.
All right, now how much money will all those closeted Republican convention goers bring into the city, Marie?
A lot. The average Tampa area prostitute normally makes around $200 to $300 a week jerking off truck drivers behind the bus station. But
I see.
they're expecting to make about 30 times that amount sucking off secretly gay Republicans.
Wow, so the
What am
convention
I
goers
watching?
will be slipping out of prayer breakfast and Mike
It's like drivers behind the gas station.
Tampa side
Right?
streets.
And all those tricks add up.
They sure do.
Then you figure the fact that these delegates are so repressed and filled with self-hatred,
Yes.
they tend to like the filthiest, kinkiest sex acts imaginable.
Oh, that's
which
right.
tends to cost more.
Right, on this chart I see fecal play, choking. We
Oh
also
You know, the
my
average
God.
well-adjusted
Oh,
gay
they
man
had the
has no desire to
prices,
smear
too.
fecal matter all
Pony
over his
plate.
partner's face to
No.
be beat up by him. But that is exactly the sort of thing that these repressed conservatives are willing to pay top dollar for.
Okay, as well as the services of transsexuals, I understand.
yes.
The she-male prostitutes in Tampa, well, they've already begun to wear
She-male.
Republican T-shirts and pins to signal
Oh.
they're ready to cater to the GOP.
Well, no one loves a hooker with a dick under her dress more than a closeted Republican. No one.
Well, let's talk about South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. We obtained a copy of his schedule here, Marie, and you can see.
Well, you can see he has left 2-hour blocks of time, which we assume is for getting his balls drained by a tranny named Chandra Mercedes.
Yes, well, we spoke to Tampa gay prostitutes earlier today. Let's take a look.
Please.
I like how
Fuck all
confident.
these old fatty boys. I'm gonna go get some Tina. I'll party. I was hoping to make some money and maybe buy a plane ticket to see my aunt down in Houston. Go Mitt Romney.
It sounds like they're really looking forward to it.
Yes, but it will also be exhausting. A lot of the Republicans repeatedly call the prostitutes faggots or start crying after they've had sex with them.
I suppose the prostitutes are shoring up on their politics so they can talk to the Republicans.
Ha ha, Andrea, what do you think
I
this is?
had that
Pretty
blonde
woman?
or
We're just
whatever
there to get
fucking
fucked.
Right. Thank you, Marie Byron.
RNC's always
All right.
Good to see you as always. Moving on, Ron Paul received an important endorsement just in time for the RNC from Big Sandy, the horse who can do math.
Horse can do that.
Okay, what else? What else?
Do you see autistic reporter Michael Falk?
No, I do not. Oh, whoops. Where's that at?
Send it.
Autistic reporter Michael Falk joins us now with his interview. Nice to see you again, Michael.
I cannot see you, Brooke. I can only hear you.
Right.
Okay. Hello, Brooke. I finished speaking with Brian Wasserman 26 minutes ago and have been standing here since then waiting for you to talk to me. Watch that interview now. Brian Wasserman used to live in a very big mansion.
Are you
Now
watching
he lives
this?
in a tiny jail cell. Is living in prison different from living in a 40,000 square foot mansion in Westchester?
Yeah, it's different.
How is it different from living in a 40,000 square foot mansion in Westchester?
Well, it's every second of my day is accounted for. It's just day after day of rigid routine.
Rigid routine. What is the rigid routine?
Well, we get up at exactly 6 a.m.
Yes.
Exactly 6:15 a.m. Everyone is counted.
Counted.
Yeah, we have to line up 7 times a day to be counted.
Line up and be counted.
And then there's the food.
I feel so bad for this guy.
Yeah, I do too.
Tasted such terrible
How long do you have to stay in the line?
Just acting.
We have to walk.
I feel bad for the prisoner,
You have to
really.
make that line straight.
Oh yeah. Well, frankly, I always thought you didn't
I
have
don't
to
laugh
do
at
anything
this,
in
but my
prison.
God, the guy's like
We have a work
shaking.
detail, and it's hard.
I don't want to make fun
Just
of this guy.
yesterday, I
But
spent the entire day.
he looks a lot like my
stacking
brother-in-law.
crates.
Not gonna
Just
lie.
One on top of the other. Just
I like
Yeah,
stack.
that's just yeah.
Stack.
you do?
Yes, I like stack crates. Stacking crates.
Yeah. Well, it's hard work.
Yes. Stacking crates.
I don't mean to complain,
One
but
on top of
I
another, on top of
realize what
another,
I
on
did
top of
was
another, on
wrong.
top of another.
I just want to serve my time, and maybe I can get out of here and get back to my family.
Why do you want to get out of here?
For my family.
Can you stack your family?
No, you
I want to
don't.
be in prison.
No, you don't. You see, it takes its toll on you.
Oh my
You wear the same clothes every day, and you live in this tiny little box. And,
Yes.
and there's hardly any human contact.
How do I get to live here? How do I get to live here? Let's go to prison now.
No.
I don't think you understand.
Now.
You see, this is a scary place. I mean, sure, there are normal guys like me who are in here for embezzling and fraud, but
that takes too
we
long. I need to
also
go to
have
prison now.
violent
I need to go
offenders.
now.
I mean, the guy in the next cell over, he robbed the convenience store and shot the cashier.
Robbed a convenience store.
Yeah,
I
so,
shot the cashier. Shot the
you know,
cashier.
I mean,
Good.
it's a scary place. It's rough.
Make sure the cashier is dead.
He's studying it.
I know I don't get to laugh at someone like that, but my God, it was funny, dude.
Bad.
President Obama
Oh,
announced
shit.
today he will drastically scale back his agenda for America after a visit to a Denny's restaurant in Manassas, Virginia, caused him to, quote, completely reconsider what our nation
Yo,
is
it's
capable
Obama,
of
yeah.
achieving. In a press conference this afternoon, the president said, quote, what I saw at Denny's made me realize how much I have overestimated the American people. Before we reclaim global leadership, we must first stop eating 6 sausages and a pound of eggs covered in syrup for breakfast, and we must stop leaving the house in sweatpants. For more, let's go to Onion News Network Washington correspondent Jane Carmichael, who was traveling with the president this morning.
Thanks, Andrea. The president stopped by the Denny's for breakfast en route to a speaking engagement and spent about 35 minutes inside. When he came out, he looked visibly shaken. I spoke to several Denny's customers and employees who witnessed the president's visit.
Well, I told him I had no job, and he asked where I've been looking for one. And I was like, what do I want to work for?
He said something to me about some colleges, something for my kids, but I could barely hear him with this little bitch crying his head off.
They microwaved his food until it was hot all the way through because, you know, he's the president.
Several people noted that Obama looked, quote, real uneasy throughout much of the meal, particularly when he saw a drunk man who was sleeping in a nearby booth sit up and vomit on his chocolate chip pancakes and immediately go back to sleep.
Thanks, Jane. And we have White House Deputy Press Secretary Todd Grant joining us right now. Mr. Grant, give us a sense of how big these post-Denny's policy changes will be.
Well, Andrea, the president was deeply unsettled by his experience at Denny's, so it's safe to say the changes will be sweeping. They're all laid out in his new Realistic Hope for America plan.
Right, I can
And it
see
basically
that.
replaces the
Obama.
president's previous agenda with goals he now thinks are more within the grasp of the American public, such as not slapping your children in public, not calling your waitress a cunt, and not smoking while eating your moons over my hammy.
Now, surely he's going to face strong criticism for abandoning his previous plans, for example, on the environment.
Andrea, I was with the president when he went inside the Denny's. Those plans were never going to happen.
Really?
But the president hasn't abandoned his principles. It's true that he's no longer calling for 1 million hybrid cars by 2015.
Right, I can see
But he
that.
is calling on Americans to think about walking to the liquor store down the block instead of driving. We believe America can do it.
Right.
And we're also encouraging Americans to quit meth and stop getting Tweety Bird tattoos.
So big picture, Mr. Grant, what does this mean for the long-term goals of the Obama presidency?
Well, it's certainly not to make America a world leader in anything anymore. But
Interesting.
we hope to inspire all of America to band together and make our nation a little bit less of an embarrassing, disgusting shithole.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Mr. Grant, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Andrea.
Moving on, a study shows that by 2025, American children will be too obese to ride hoverboards.
Damn. That was random. Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1, now.
This is the Onion News Network, a 24-hour non-stop news assault.
And in Washington
what
this
is the title?
afternoon, Congress
Congress
attempted to pass a
forgets
law
how
that
to-
failed after neither the House nor the Senate could remember how to do it.
For more details, here's Onion News Network Washington correspondent Jane Carmichael.
Hi, Brooke. The bill in question is the Challenger Memorial Statue Act of 2011, which would allocate $50,000 to create a memorial to the Challenger astronauts at the Air and Space Museum. The bill has unanimous support from both Republicans
Wait,
and
my mic is
Democrats,
turned all the way
but
up.
unfortunately it's been so long since they actually passed
Damn.
any legislation that not one person in Congress remembers the protocol for making a bill into a law.
Well, Jane, you'd think as lawmakers they'd be passing bills all the time.
Well, they introduce a lot of bills, but then usually they get held up in questioning the motives and patriotism of whoever proposed them.
But didn't they just pass 1 or 2 bills last year?
They did, but each time they had to go to former Senator Chris Dodd to help them through the process. He was apparently the go-to guy for that kind of thing, but now that he's retired...
Well, why can't they just call him?
Well, they did reportedly, but he told them, quote, "I don't work there anymore and I'm not about to do charity work." At that point, several senators tried to go online to find instructions on bill passing, but then quickly became distracted updating their Twitter feeds with disparaging remarks about political rivals and checking Facebook to see if they had any new supporters.
Well, it seems that Congress is in the middle of an emergency policy session to try and jog their memories. Let's just take a look at that now.
As I recall,
Mr.
we say aye,
Cummings.
and then as long as nobody says nay, the bill is passed into law.
I know somebody hits a gavel.
I concur. I also remember a gavel being involved at some point.
Well, in that case, I move that we look up stores where we can buy a gavel.
Let the record reflect that we have decided to figure out where we can get a gavel from.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. I think, don't you have to tell me when to talk?
Oh, right. You can have the floor.
Good. Now, once it's ready to be passed into law, we email it to the president, correct?
I don't know.
We probably have to glue it into a book where all the other laws are.
That makes sense.
Wait, isn't there a Library of Congress?
Yeah.
The book with all the laws must be in the Library of Congress.
I move that we find out where this library is. Does anybody know?
No.
I have no idea.
Dang it.
Oh, it looks like they aren't having much luck.
No, but they'll keep trying. Next, Congress will try saying the law on TV, see if that makes it official. And after
White
that,
House,
they'll
don't
have all of
ask
the bill's
us.
supporters stand in a circle and shake hands with one another simultaneously to see if that works.
Yeah, well, let's hope they figure it out. And remember, Jane, eyeliner can work wonders. We have to take a quick break now, but first let's check in with another of the Onion News Network's live 365 weather
Skunk
counts,
sounds.
this time from Iowa. Okay, looks like a lot of snow there. We'll be right back.
What is this? What is
Actually,
this?
I paused on a YouTube video at the wrong time.
What is this thing? Okay, I should just, alright. Well,
Yeah.
what do you have anything to say, Bryce?
Not really. I don't know what else to say. Those are some pretty funny videos.
Yeah. I really hope they weren't real, not gonna lie.
they aren't. They aren't.
They aren't real?
No.
Good, because I really thought they were. Alright.
No.